Hey guys, great to see you. Type in Hey Teacher Raf in YouTube, come to my channel, go to the About section, scroll down, see the 4 links, bottom right link, support small business. Once you hit that, donate anything above 10 bucks and I'll send you my newest Ultimate Adventure Guide because I want you to feel excited, exhilarated.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Teacher Raf. This is Twilight Zone episode 124. I want to talk about the moon. Go to Wikipedia and put in moon in the search engine, or just find a search engine and write wiki moon. And then Wikipedia will come up. Well, scroll all the way down and start at one of the very bottom sections headlined legal status. And look at what it says. In 2020, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order called Encouraging International Support for the Recovery and Use of Space Resources. The order emphasizes that the United States does not view outer space as a global commons and calls the Moon Agreement a failed attempt at constraining free enterprise. So let's have a discussion about what that even implies or means. It's very strange language. It almost sounds like the moon was protected territory, or part of it was, from nations, actual established nations, and not secret organizations, which I think are establishing their own businesses on the dark side of the moon, out of sight, out of mind. But let's look further down. It says, the Declaration of the Rights of the Moon was created by a group of lawyers, space archaeologists, and concerned citizens in 2021, drawing on precedents in the rights of nature movement and the concept of legal personality for non-human entities in space. Very strange language, to say the least. And if you click on the words rights of nature, it has several paragraphs of an explanation which I cannot comprehend what they're trying to say in it. So this jargon is sort of very clandestine, in my opinion. I think it takes a specific type of attorney to translate what this actually implies. Perhaps the moon is now open for entrepreneurship. That's what I'm thinking it is. But don't quote me on that, because it's a very strange legal agreement. What else I wanted to touch on is the funded and under development projects that will be launched in the future on the moon. That's also one of the headlines. A little bit above legal status. So if you click on that, it'll pop up a new web page, and it'll show you all of the countries that it appears to me are launching moon missions that have some type of robotic presence. And there are, I believe, 18 countries. Let's see. If you just scroll down, you'll see a bunch of these missions planned starting next year all the way up to 2029, it looks like, if I'm just scrolling and looking in a very general way. Then if you also click on the word Lunar Gateway, it'll bring you to a page that says, the Lunar Gateway, or simply Gateway, is a planned small space station in lunar orbit intended to serve as a solar-powered communication hub, science laboratory, short-term habitation module, and holding area for rovers and other robots. Formerly known as the Deep Space Gateway (DSG), the station was renamed Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway (LOP-G) in NASA's 2018 proposal for the 2019 United States federal budget. When the budgeting process was complete, $332 million had been committed by Congress to preliminary studies. The science disciplines to be studied on the Gateway are expected to include planetary science, astrophysics, Earth observation, heliophysics, fundamental space biology, and human health and performance. Gateway development includes 4 of the International Space Station partner agencies: NASA, European Space Agency, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and Canadian Space Agency. Construction is planned to take place in the 2020s. The International Space Exploration Coordination Group, which is composed of more than 14 space agencies, including all major ones, has concluded that Gateway will be critical in expanding a human presence to the Moon, Mars, and deeper into the solar system. The Gateway is, with its name and logo, associated with the American frontier symbol of the St. Louis Gateway Arch. And then it goes on to talk about a project that NASA's Artemis program will play a major role in 2024 and so forth. There's a lot of information, but it just appears to me that not just the United States, but 18, 19 countries of the world are investing a ton of their resources into launching the next phase of space development, whether that is space station, Moon, Mars, robotics, and other phenomenon that they're not really telling us about. Obviously, it doesn't really make sense why so many billions of dollars are being spent on things that we're not really being told about. Just going to the moon and looking at the Earth and looking at stars, that doesn't really make any sense. So there's obvious planning going on that we're not being told. And so it's something that people should really look into. Beyond the basic questioning of how the moon came to an existence, which is a complete mystery, seeing that it's semi-hollow and it rings when there's a detonation that goes off on the surface of the moon. The moon actually rings for like multiple hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. This has been scientifically studied and proven, so therefore that's why it's semi-hollow. But also that one section of the moon is always facing the Earth, while the dark side of the moon, the other side, is never shown to Earth. It's a very strange phenomenon that scientists claim is not so unusual in our solar system, that there are other moons out there that do this. That's fine, but are those other moons also semi-hollow? And how were those other moons formed? Were they formed in the same theoretical way that our moon was formed? Since scientists can't really understand how it was formed because their theory doesn't hold up in computer simulations, they claim that a Mars-like planet crashed into the Earth, and then the debris bounced off of the Earth, rotated around so many millions or billions of times, and created the moon. Well, scientists disagree on this theory because if a planet or chunk of rock that large hit the Earth, there would be a crater that would be so enormous that everyone on Earth would know about. So where is this crater? That's one of the major questions that can't be answered. The other question about the moon is, when you look at the moon, even from a telescope or even with the naked eye sometimes, if it appears very close to Earth, you can see that these pits in the moon where so-called asteroids have hit into it, or meteors or whatnot, they are not very deep. They're very wide, right? But they're not very deep. And scientists theorize that that is because below the surface of the moon, however many hundreds of meters or yards, is something so hard that these asteroids or meteors cannot penetrate through and create a deeper indentation. Does that make sense? So if I pick up a snowball and throw it at a wall, the snowball, if it's made of really hard ice, and depending on what the wall is made of, if the wall is made of, like, let's say really soft adobe, I could throw that snowball so hard that when it hits the wall, it makes an indentation or leaves an indentation on that adobe wall. Okay, but if I throw that snowball at a wall made of solid concrete or solid metal, there will not be an indentation from a small chunk of ice that is thrown against that surface, obviously, because the surface is harder than the ice being thrown at it. So scientists theorize that below the surface of the moon is a layer of something, maybe metal, who knows, man-made metal, that's one of the theories, that is so hard that these asteroids and meteors cannot penetrate or even leave an indentation in. That is why when you look at the moon and you see these indentations, they are very wide, but they're not deep, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you think that the moon is so many billions of years old, there had to have been meteors and asteroids that were very large, and they were coming at different speeds, and they made an impact on the moon, which would create a very deep pit. But that is not the case. So there are a few serious mysteries surrounding the moon. Not only the legal jargon that I just read in the beginning that was signed into, I don't know, into some type of law, space law, in 2020, and this agreement this year, 2021. So thanks for listening. Hit like, share the link, leave a comment. Let's have a discussion perhaps, or tell me what you think. And remember, take care and be safe.